And Commissioner Blakely,
Present.
present, welcome.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fair,
Present.
Commissioner Rubin,
Present.
Commissioner Ponce.
Present.
And I'm here, and I will begin with I'd like to request a motion to adopt the minutes from our October 9th, 2025 meeting. So moved by Commissioner Fair, with second, second by Commissioner Rubin. Commissioner Ponce,
Yes.
yes, Commissioner Blakely.
Yes.
All right, and I'm yes, motion carries unanimously. The minutes will be posted on the commission's website. There is one project on the agenda for today's meeting. Staff to the commission will present the project on the agenda and state their recommendation. Following the staff presentation, the committee will have an opportunity to ask questions of the staff. The applicant will then make a statement. Following the applicant's statements, members of the public may make their statements. I'd like to ask anyone other than the applicant wishing to make a statement on the item on today's agenda to complete a public comment card and give the card to a member of the staff. Comment cards are available at the door as a courtesy to other individuals wishing to offer comments. We ask the members of the general public limit your statements to 3 minutes or less. When the time comes for public comment on the item on the agenda, I will call the names on the cards and ask you to make your statement. Please state your name, interest, organization, and company you represent, if any. Our project today is at 1247 North Damon, First Ward, Milwaukee Avenue District. It's the proposed 4-story brick commercial and residential building on an existing vacant lot. And I'd like to call on Joyce Ramos for the staff report.
Actually, the first agenda item is located at 1280 Milwaukee Avenue.
Oh,
I think you'd mentioned Damon Avenue.
oh. Yeah, that's what this says. So,
So the project
1280.
is located at 1280 North Milwaukee Avenue, located in the Milwaukee Avenue District. The Milwaukee Avenue District retains a solid and exceptional group of historic neighborhood commercial buildings with a broad range of architectural styles from the late 19th through the early 20th centuries. The subject property is currently a vacant lot located at the southeastern edge of the district. The lot is 24 feet wide and 100 feet deep. Similar to the immediately adjacent properties, the front facade will be constructed up to the front and side lot lines. At the rear, the building will have a 4-foot setback on the first floor and a 15-foot setback for the residential units above. The applicant is seeking an administrative adjustment to allow a 15-foot rear yard setback, and the commission takes no position regarding any requested relief relative to the zoning code requirements. In keeping with the small commercial buildings in the district, the front facade will feature street-level glazed storefronts with 2 recessed entries. The floors above will have clad wood 1/1 double-hung windows with transoms, trimmed with stone lintels and sills for the residential units. Staff recommend that large-scale dimension detailed drawings for the storefront and windows should be included in the permit drawings. Architectural embellishment consists of simplified limestone bands and brick header horse accents. Additionally, the windows and brick panels between are recessed 2 inches from the principal facade. The parapet will have stone banding and coping. The design of the parapet is very simplified and not differentiated from the rest of the facade, and to be more in keeping with the roof lines of the historic buildings in the district, staff recommend that the drawings be modified to incorporate a projecting cornice or a more articulated parapet design to be compatible with the character of the district. Examples of a compatible coping and parapet design include, but are not limited to, a varying roof line, incorporating brickwork pattern at the parapet, corbelling, the use of different materials, a stronger profile, and a more substantial projection. Enlarged elevation and section drawings shall be submitted to historic preservation staff for review and approval prior to submitting for the permit application. There are a variety of historic buildings which are primarily 1 to 4 stories tall along Milwaukee Avenue. And the proposed building is 4 stories and measures 50 feet, 4 inches to the top of the parapet, which is in keeping with the buildings in the district. The proposed modular sized brick has a dark grayish brownish tone, and staff recommend that the brick should incorporate a lighter color range of red, brown, or buff tones that are compatible with the historic buildings in the district. Further, the mortar color should closely match the color of the brick. And samples of the brick and mortar proposed for the buildings should be submitted to historic preservation staff for review and approval with the permit application. For new construction projects, the commission encourages good contemporary design that respects the district's existing architectural and historic qualities. The design of the proposed building is a streamlined and current take on traditional detailing. Overall, the proposed project is compatible with the historic character of the district and will not have an adverse effect on the significant historical and architectural features of the district. Therefore, staff recommend approval of the design and materials of the proposed new building with the conditions mentioned in my presentation. Alderman Laspada has reviewed the project and doesn't have any blocking concerns. And the Wicker Park Committee has provided a letter of support, which was placed at your places. That concludes my presentation. The architect is also here, so please let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Joyce. Commissioners, any questions for Joyce before we hear from the project team? Seeing none, let's hear from project architects.
I believe, Joyce pretty much like all the main points of our project.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Mark Mashonsky with Jonathan Split Architects.
Steve Addy with Jonathan Split Architects also, excuse me.
But yes, going back to Joyce hit all the main points of our project. As we are still fine tuning the upper cornice detailing, we communicating with our client about that. We're kind of landing on like a series of like the brick portables that's directly below the last band of limestone for the top of the pyramid.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
I have one just out of curiosity, and I agree with the staff recommendations of, color range and parapet. Because they add a little bit more character and, more depth to the project. I'm wondering, like, is there like cost associated with why it wasn't done in the first place, like just to push the envelope a little bit more? Like what are there implications of doing this, taking on these recommendations, or why were they not? Just curious if cost was,
Just initial like conversations with our client. He was looking at something to have like more of a homogeneous like masonry look on the brick selection. And actually from the recommendations, from the original version that we submitted to the recommendations, I think it was, there was like some like slight tweaks, I guess, in the overall design. But I think just in our first attempt, I think we're all on the kind of like in the same direction, at the same page. So there was like pretty just minor updates, minor tweaks to the details from like our first initial submittal to this point.
thank you.
Any thoughts on the, different color range for the masonry in particular? I assume you're gonna keep the limestone, there, but just in the elevation that you all provided there, you see some examples of kind of those red and oranges and some lighter browns.
We were actually out discussing that with our client and just like brick suppliers, find like a nice range that's not too overly extreme, but still kind of giving some of a little more warmth, I guess, would be a good way to describe it.
And I think, the corbelling that you were mentioning for the cornice, that would be a good approach. One of the kind of lovely things, particularly I think about the building at 1272. There's some nice depth to that, cornice that's there. That detail has some cost implications, but I think that brings some richness and some texture to that design.
Yeah, and as Joyce mentioned, we did incorporate some relief on the elevation, from like where the windows are, kind of setting back those window areas.
Vertical bands.
Yeah. Our vertical bands.
Set back 2 inches.
Yeah,
Yes,
also
it's
from like the main retail corners to the residential corners, that's also recessed for a few inches. So there is some relief, it's hard to tell on a 2D drawing like this, but there is some relief in the elevation facade.
Great.
So the revised details are not shown in these drawings provided, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
it would be incorporated into the drawings when we send it to them.
Okay.
Any other questions, commissioners? Let's seeing none, let's move to public comment. Mr. Ward Miller.
Yes, for the record, Commissioner, Ward Miller, Richard H. Treehouse, Executive Director of Preservation Chicago. Jonathan Split, the architects, have been really remarkable in a lot of your projects, especially with reuse of historic structures. So thank you for being here today and sort of filling this missing tooth, if you will, in the Milwaukee Avenue landmark district that Preservation Chicago and all of us worked very hard to get over a decade ago, along with the community members. And it's one of those great districts and encompasses a lot of buildings, even from the 1870s, some of the oldest buildings in our city. This is all great. I just wanted to again reflect and support the staff's comments on all of their items, which I think are so important to keep that cohesion of the district that we've discussed. And also wanted to even suggest that, you know, in the future, if possible, as you can see at your second and third floor, you've got that those keystones that sort of align perfectly with the windows. And, you know, traditionally in the past, you would have had a little overhang on each one, so 2 or 3 inches to really carry that. And when my eye sees that, I always think of a building that's cheaper in construction and people that are not really focused on historic preservation. And I know sometimes it's the look people desire, but you know, making those keystones a little longer on each side and a little taller, I think might also help. And that speaks to a lot of the vocabulary of the district that you see. So, but I want to commend you on an overall nice design that isn't a tower. We've seen projects where there were 9-story towers proposed off of Milwaukee Avenue, and to see something that's 4 stories, a little more in keeping, and that's really nice too. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. No one else has signed up to speak at this time. So I'd like to call a final discussion from commissioners. Seeing none. Okay. I just think, I do want to say one thing. I think that, like from an elevation standpoint, it seems very well organized and the staff comments are right on that. It's in the details of kind of elevating it. I'm not sure. I do want to make a comment, because I'm not sure about extending the headers.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, of the way it's organized with these vertical setbacks, it looks like. I don't know. To me, it makes sense. I think they could be done really well, but if you can get the depth, I think that's what.
I don't think they'd be able to do that just because where the windows are.
They're set in.
Set in.
So I just wanted to
Exactly.
point that out. I don't know if that
But
should be,
the limestone detailing, I mean, it is like a modern take of.
yes,
Like
yeah,
historic detailing, so it doesn't have to be exactly like an exact replica of another.
I agree.
But no, I understand that too.
I always look at that and think, oh, a new building, and oh, it's kind of cheap, you know, that's how my eye reads it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to offer that.
okay, yeah, that's it. Any other points?
No, I'm really happy with the staff recommendations. It sounds like, you know, there's already work that's being made towards that, so I'm happy to make a motion to accept those recommendations.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Fair,
Seconded.
seconded by Commissioner Rubin, and I'll do the roll call. Commissioner Blakely,
Yes.
yes. Commissioner Ponce,
Yes.
is a yes, and I'm a yes, and the motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, good luck. Looking forward to seeing you develop. There is no further business on our agenda today, so I'd like to request a motion to adjourn.
Although.
Don't move, Commissioner Ponce, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Just.